Good to go.
Hello, and welcome to the Real Vino podcast. This is your boy Ray. See, what's up?
Yo, what's up, man? Welcome to episode 6. What's going on with you, man? How's life treating you?
Hey, we are in the Vino hour, and it's another day of just talking about what's real, talking about what's going on around us. How you feeling so far?
Man, I'm cool, man. I'm cool as a fan, man. I think I like we spoke before, just trying to get our feet under us, get some legs going, and see everything's going, and just make sure every week gets better.
Dave, how was your week?
Good. Little momentary panic because one of the kids in one of my kids' classes apparently popped positive for COVID.
Oh, really?
And of course, it's the kid that I actually worry about because he's got asthma. But he's good. So
Yeah.
I'm cool. Sorry to hear that. Prayers up to him.
Well,
just it's all we need is just one more thing to get the blood pressure pumping.
Right.
That's it.
We're not gonna be out of this situation for a while. Like, just when you think that it's come right down to it and we figured it out, then there's still more people getting sick behind it.
Well, and especially with these new variants that are out, and it's crazy how much more infectious these new variants are, and that kind of stuff. So people that think, hooray, we're out of the woods. There's vaccines and bars and restaurants get to start opening Monday, and everything's going to be great.
Yeah.
Don't. Just don't.
But you know what? Everybody's itching to get out there, see, and do it. And they don't want to be in a lot of restraints.
Mm-hmm.
And even during this time, even though they know they can't get sick, they know
what?
they don't want.
You have to.
But it's like,
Can you imagine all the people that have been pent up for like the last 10 months? Like, I don't know if you saw the story that apparently Michigan was number one on social media for people talking about, I need sex, I want sex, I miss sex, like that kind of stuff.
Right.
All those people suddenly unleashed in bars on Monday night.
I think that was all me. I don't think that was
Chris has something. Chris has something to do with that, Dave. Chris has something to do with that.
I don't think it was 10,000 different people. I think it was just me
you?
sending 10,000.
Right.
No, it happens, man. But, that pent-up energy, like, I was talking to my boss at work a few days ago. They're bringing us back to the office second week of February, beginning of March. And he's like, are you ready to come back? Are you this? And I'm like, man, I've been at the crib for a year, man.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I don't mind. The only thing I hate about it is it's so convenient. I cook my lunch, I cook my dinner. I'm at home and I'm working, but I wouldn't mind going to the office. I wouldn't mind being around some people, and of course, if it's going to be, if the social distancing and all that is in the proper place, and it's cool. But it's just funny how you want to be safe, but you still have that itch to get out there. You know what I'm saying?
I think that, it's just human nature to want to just get out and interact with other human beings.
We're social creatures.
Yeah. We have a way of life that we're used to living, and you introduce a pandemic where you got to be careful of talking to this person and talking to that person, and it just introduces a totally different amount of stress. So how do you deal with it?
Extremely stressful.
And
and you can't go to the bar to have a few drinks and blow off steam when you're stressed out.
No.
And you can't go shoot hoops at the gym because it's closed too.
Yeah.
You can't. So and that's the thing. Like, so that's the double whammy. Is not only did stress levels go up, but all those stress relief tools went away too.
Yeah. So you're sitting isolated, watching the same shows every day, You know, how are you coping with that?
Man, you overindulge in a lot of things. You eat too much, you drink too much, you may to whoever it is, you may smoke too much, you may it's easier like normally your decompress time comes when you come home from work.
Right.
But with COVID, we decompressing all the time. You know what I mean? So I think we pick up on some positive activities at some point, and we pick up on some negative activities at some point because we just too much idle time. When you sit idle, you know what they say: the idle time is the devil's time. You know what I mean? So,
and
sitting idle can make you make bad decisions.
But you know what? COVID has disrupted everything. Mm-hmm. It's changed the way everyone's moved. Mm-hmm. It's changed the way everyone has thought about doing different things outside today. You know, do I need to be a little bit more cautious? You know, maybe I don't believe in the whole mask thing, but I'm going to put it on because I don't want to get sick. You know, everyone's in a paranoia state of mind over it. And there it doesn't seem to be any realistic end to this. No one has talked about no one has talked about any realistic end to it. They've only speculated that if we do this or if we do that this whole thing is going to turn around. And how many Americans, how many people that are living around us believe that?
So there's a phenomenal infectious disease expert, guy by the name of Fred Brown, who's actually now part of the Biden transition team. And we got really lucky. He's a friend
I've heard of him.
Yeah.
I'm not too into what he. But go ahead.
He's outstanding. Yeah. So I mean, he's a friend of a friend, and he started coming on our show back in March. And basically, like once a month, we just give him 2 hours and go. Yeah. And he gives us the same presentations that he gives to Harvard. It gives us the same presentations that he was giving to, like, when Kamala Harris was here. He briefed her. And then laughably, when you saw her do a briefing, it was his slides that she used. Right. And so, like, having access to him, and he's been pretty accurate. Right. Like almost dead on accurate all through this. I mean, there are people out there that say it, just people don't want to hear it. Because his thing is, like, expect this to be the norm probably through 2023.
Right. See, that's...
Because the sad reality is you've got... Because, it's, you know, it's the whole, like, herd immunity thing with the vaccines and all that stuff. So you've got... He said, you know, we know we've got 60 or so, like 58, 60% of people that'll take it. Right. Well, but we need to get to 85. So who are those other 40%? Right. Well, you've got 20% that are just, well, you've got like 10% that are just violently anti-vax. Right. So they don't like vaccines, and you know you're not going to reach them. You got 10%.
You said that's 10%?
Yeah. You said about 10% of the population. Okay. You said then you've got about another 10% that are just angry and won't do it out of spite.
And
so now we got 20% of people that's not going to.
But you know,
but he said you can reach them.
The problem that I have with that is that, okay, here, if you're a person that's just looking at the numbers, so this is what I'm going to challenge you to do. Mm-hmm. How many people have died off of taking the vaccine right now? All right, now let's just turn it, and how many people have died that
from the actual
had the vaccine? Mm-hmm. So the numbers, you know, the people that have passed away because this pandemic is here is greater than the people that have passed away without it. The vaccine.
I could be wrong, but I think the number of recoveries are more than the number of deaths in Michigan.
Oh, for sure. But
so I think that because the recovery rate is higher than the death rate, it's the law of averages. People say, well, so I'm not going to take the vaccine because this amount of people got through it.
So the vaccine.
So I think a lot of I don't want to call anybody a name, but I think people that that may not be as informed or may not dig into it enough, just look at numbers, but it could affect you in a different way.
See, and that's where I was going to go with that is just because you survive doesn't mean you're good. Like, so I'm one of those people. I had it back end of January.
But what I'm saying is that if you're one of the people that are saying, like, man, I'm not going to take this vaccine right now because I don't know what it's going to do for me. Like, there hasn't been any reports that have come out that people have passed away.
So that's the last 20%, the watchful skeptics.
Okay.
That last.
So now we have 40%.
Yeah. So there's your 60 and 40%. So that last 20% is and I'm in that category. I'm in that watchful skeptic category. I'm all about science. I'm all about vaccines. I'm all about this entire process. Make it go. But y'all did get this pushed through really fast.
Yeah.
And I might want to sit back and watch for a couple months before I say, go ahead and give it to me.
I may want to go through the 5th round.
Yeah.
I'll wait till the 5th.
Like I'm okay. Like I'll tag in, but not in the first round. Like
yeah.
I think that we talked about this before. It's what's your fear? Are you afraid of catching it? What's your situation?
No, because
are you a married man, married woman in an environment and you need to take that precaution, or are you just not going to do it because?
No, I mean it makes sense for me to take it. Like I said, my kid's got asthma. He's in one of those risk categories. But with me, and it's not, and that's the other. And I got into this conversation on Facebook yesterday where somebody's like, "Oh, why? If you're afraid of COVID, why would you take a shot that has COVID in it?" Okay, that's not how these vaccines work. These mRNA vaccines. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine is a traditional virus, is a traditional vaccine with the virus in it. Mm-hmm. But the Pfizer and Moderna ones are not, and so you literally cannot get COVID from it. So, and the funny thing is like, oh, but but what all the reports about people feeling bad afterwards? Well, that's because you probably have it in your system, and your body now recognizes it properly and is fighting it off. That's why,
I don't think there would be as much conversation about it if there was a clear-cut answer. So anybody can say anything. Everybody is really speaking off of what they know and basing their opinions off the opinion of the most intelligent person they know or the person that's most believable. But nobody knows what this COVID thing is going to do.
COVID is.
You just try to form the best opinion based on your level of smarts, but we don't know what this thing is going to do, man.
COVID has interrupted so much in everybody's life.
No doubt.
Right now. It has. It's
and we're all angry about it.
Yeah, everybody's frustrated about it because at the end of the day, how do you change your life to adapt to it? How do you change your life to adapt to it?
Honestly,
and this is not this.
It's easy when you
talking
don't have a
about,
choice.
You like
when you're not given options, it's easy to adapt. It's hard to adapt when you don't have when you have other options.
So
change is hard when you want to do it yourself.
Yeah.
When you are forced to change,
it's pretty easy.
And I think that if you are single, you are forced to change. Mm-hmm. Are you willing to change? Are you willing to turn it all around and do something different? Because this COVID has changed the way a lot of people operate. So, are you willing to make those changes? I mean, we talked about it last week, where I'm looking at my legacy over all of it. Like, maybe I need to start doing some things a little bit different. To make sure that my legacy is cemented in this life, should I pass on or whatever. So it made me think about some things.
Yeah.
I know that I am going to pursue what I want for my happiness because this is my life. only I know what it takes to make me happy. Only I know that.
Yeah, and that's the thing with transitioning from COVID to your legacy and what we want as men, and kind of going back to where we left off over the last couple of weeks is, where do you set that foundation? How do you set that foundation with the limited resources we have now, with the current state of the world?
Right.
Everything is limited.
Right.
So you at this point in your life where you want to make these serious decisions and do certain things, but at the same time, the world is limited.
Right.
That's the conundrum.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm with you 100%. I guess my only counterpoint, or not even a counterpoint, but what do we do?
I just don't feel like. I feel like if you like with me, I feel like I'm gonna do what I need to do to make me feel better going forward. You know,
Yeah.
I'm going to do what I need to do to make me feel good going forward. So I'm going to look at all of the scenarios. I'm going to look at everything. And we was talking about this earlier, and it's just like, I'll never put myself in a situation that I can't get out of.
No doubt.
I would
No
never
doubt.
do that, man.
No doubt.
I would never. I will never live in my mind unhappy again. I won't do it.
When we were talking about that earlier, I made a statement to you that I want to bring up now since we're live. Not to really spark controversy, but just kind of put my mentality out there.
Yeah.
I think it's imperative of any man to control his narrative.
Yeah.
You have to control your environment, the people that are around you, the person you select to spend your life with or your time with. And and that increases during this type of climate.
Right.
You know, but I think that's imperative in a normal climate. But that intensifies nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, with this whole relationship thing. So it's a it's a tricky game, man, for sure. But I keep it 1,000. Like I'm so brutally honest and so upfront with people. I really don't have a lot of issues, but obviously I'm still in the same situation. So there's room for improvement. You know what I mean?
But are you changing your mindset
No.
in this climate? Are you changing your mindset on how you approach relationships, on how you approach being in a stable union? Are you changing your mindset? And you know,
not at all.
I will say that, like, I've always been like, I've had the best teachers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've had my dad. I've had people that took me under their wing and showed me what it means to be professional, what it means to be, you know, a whole lot of things. And I can shout out so many guys, but there's so many.
Man, I got a lot of OGs. I lost
can't
my
do it,
dad
but
at 19.
I can shout out so many guys,
OGs.
man, that just taught me what it means to just be professional. What it
Shout
means
out to
to
Pac, Cabbage, Jay.
You know,
Yeah,
what it means to be a
OGs.
stand-up guy. That I look at things now and I'm just like, you know, maybe I need to change the way I'm doing some things, because in order for me to get the happiness that I want, I have to be able to adapt to another lifestyle, and I can do that. I can do that.
Yeah. That's based off the things you've taught, things that you were taught, and then incorporating your, you sprinkle your seasoning on it, and now you have it. You know what I mean?
But it's all good. I mean, it's not.
It's so many people that weren't reared correctly, not to judge, but weren't taught or given certain game.
Right.
And I feel guilty. I thought figuring it all out in my 20s and 30s was bad.
Right.
But now that I'm on the dating scene as a grown man, I'm finding people in their 40s.
And that whole dating,
Like,
whole dating scheme.
You're doing things I was doing when I was 20.
That's what I'm saying. COVID has affected all of that.
It's
Like,
affected the entire thing.
Like, there's people that they're afraid to go out in public right now. They're afraid to do a lot of different things because they don't want to get sick and lose their life behind what's going on. And then you look at all of these. I'll just pull the NBA out. I'll pull the NFL out because we haven't seen Major League Baseball yet. But they have fans in the stands. They're wearing masks, but is it really appropriate for them to even be there?
Isn't it just family members?
I think it's family members.
Like it's super limited.
But you know what? Family members in certain sections.
But you know what? I don't have 9,000 family members. Dude.
Well, yeah, even two teams full of people aren't gonna. Yeah.
Well, you got so I think there's limited seating for the public. But it's still. I mean, man, flip a coin, bro. We in a small room right now, so I mean, everything is perspective.
I get it.
You know, but you do what you have to do to be responsible, and but you put a mask on, wash your hands, man.
We're doing what we have to do to be responsible, but does a guy that's making $100 million think that he needs to be responsible? You know, does a guy that's making $100 million feel like he needs to conform to what is happening?
Dude, I would hope.
Because if he's just like, I'm going to go see my sister, she's having a birthday party, and, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Who was was it an NBA or NFL player? Who was the guy that got busted and wound up getting suspended by the team for 2 weeks because he had to go into quarantine because he posted pictures of himself leaving the bubble to go get wings at a strip club?
Was that James Harden?
No, that was Lou Williams.
Lou Williams.
And it's just like
Lou Williams. Yeah.
Did he have a moment where he was just like, hey, I'm about to slide in here and give me some wings, or slide in here and give me some entertainment, and then just dip out after
he
that.
knew the punishment.
And he got busted.
Well,
he got busted because he posted pictures of himself there.
but I think
Dave, I'm gonna tell you something. I cut you off.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you something. It's something to. I guess I understand why they got the phrase, or where the phrase "dumb jock" came from.
Well, I mean, and I think, bro. So I would like to think, to your original question, I would like to think that if I'm in a position where I'm making $100 million, that I'm going to be even more concerned about keeping myself healthy, so that I don't fall off that train. But the flip side of that is, if you're making $100 million, odds are good you think the rules don't apply to you.
It's not that the rules don't apply to you. It's the way it's the American way. If in every sport, and we'll just keep it at basketball, minimum salary could be anywhere from $2 to $6, $7, $8, up to $10 million a year.
Okay.
Average coach's salary, they max out at 6, 7.
Right.
If you make more money than the person that's telling you what to do, depending on the type of person you are, you don't respect that person.
But isn't that the breakdown?
You don't make more money than your boss.
That's
you don't make more money than your boss. So it's that the dynamic of I'm gonna give the player $100 million because that's who the fans want to see. The fans don't come to see the coaches. But that player still has a responsibility to listen.
He still has a responsibility.
But they're going to pay the players more because the players are what people are coming to see. So and when you get paid more, you disrespect the people that make less money than you. Especially when you're 24 years old and you just signed up for $150 million.
Yeah.
You don't care about what this 50-year-old man talking about. So perspective, but it's wrong, but give me $100 million at 24. You think I really care about what they talking about?
And I think that's just
I make more money than my boss.
That's where the education needs to come into play, because you know what? We are playing you to play a sport.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? You have responsibilities too. Like, you can't be late to camp. You can't be late to practice. You can't do all this other stuff. Like, that's not the team's responsibility. That is your responsibility. That's your parents' responsibility. Like, we were talking discipline from your parents and all of that stuff is what. Exactly.
It ain't the coach's responsibility to make sure you're not drinking.
But if I'm giving
he
you
just need to make sure you're going to give him 20 points tonight.
But if I'm giving you $100 million, this is your responsibility. Man, you got to play on that. You got to play on that.
Yeah.
You don't get to say, I'm here. I did what I was supposed to do. You don't get to say that when somebody's giving you that kind of money. You don't get to say it.
Have you ever had a conversation with your 24-year-old self? Have you ever sat down and said, oh, okay, this is Ray at 48 versus Ray at 24? You would tell that guy something totally different. And that's the same thing with these young guys, that they got their hands on the bag. When they're 50 and they're bankrupt, like Antoine Walker, they're going to be like, oh, shh.
But you know what?
So they got to live it like everybody else.
Yeah, you know.
But you can't get mad at them for getting it.
I think
you know what I mean?
I think if the 20-year-old Ray had a conversation with me right now, like, you know, what are we doing? We should have this figured out already.
At
we
20?
should know what needs to be done. You know what I'm saying?
You were just able to buy cigarettes 2 years ago. You can't have it figured out by 20. If you just able to vote at 18.
Why not? Why not? You give me that kind of money. How you don't have it figured out yet?
But isn't that life though? Like, I have this conversation with so many people. Like, you go, oh man, I remember when I was 16, I thought I knew everything. I was an idiot. But now I'm 18. Now I'm a man. Now I got to figure it out. Then you hit 21 and you're like, oh, dude, I was stupid 3 years ago. But now I got my shit together. Then you hit 25. Man, 21-year-old me was just punched in the head too many times. And then you hit 30. And then you that's just.
And at 60, you can be like, man, when I was 40.
Yeah.
right? So it never stops. But you still need to talk to yourself. You still need to have the conversation with that guy. And like we were talking about last week, maybe therapy is an option. But you still have to communicate with the young you sometimes to understand the climate of the world.
I think at the end of the day, you agree to disagree, because the two lifestyles are going to clash.
Mm-hmm.
The younger breed is not going to understand what we're talking about. We're not really going to understand. We're going to understand what he's talking about, but we already know what that's going to bring.
What's going to bring him?
Yeah.
Or her, yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know, we're able to say, like, well, okay, you know, that's what you think is going to work.
Yeah. We're sitting inside looking out the window like, I see what you about to do.
Yeah.
And they're outside looking at us like,
that's not going to work.
There, you ain't doing nothing.
Yeah. So,
because I've already did everything. That's why I'm not sitting there doing it.
You know,
it goes both ways.
At the end of the day, change is inevitable. You know, change
Life
is
a contradiction.
You know,
you always change,
and
we try to evolve.
Have to figure out how we are going to be able to deal with this transition. You know, how are we going to deal with it? You know, and
it's extremely hard dealing with it from a single perspective, because I like the attention, I like the company of a woman.
Yeah.
So dealing with it from a relationship perspective is a little difficult. Outside of that, I'm good.
Yeah.
But man, I sleep on the couch because I don't even like being in the bed by myself some nights.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just having the touch, just the conversation, just the whatever. Not even in a sexual or physical sense. Just the camaraderie, the companionship.
Right.
And I didn't realize how much I missed companionship from a female until COVID.
Right.
And that's honest. I didn't really.
So it took over to bring it.
Yeah. The companionship aspect.
Yeah, I feel that too. You know, I guess. You know, where do we go from here? How do we get it to a respectable place where we can just get on with our lives without having to give up too much of who we are? Mm-hmm. And I still believe that in this COVID, and I'm going to always call it a COVID environment because it has us doing things that we're not used to doing. It has us having to conform to a way of life that we're not used to having to conform to.
The new normal.
So, you know, if it's dating, it's like, hey, you know, it may take a little bit longer, but if everybody's on the same page, you can get out of that scenario, you know. But is everyone going to be on that same page? There's still a lot of people that, like, feel like they can just, like, walk around and be without a mask and do all this other stuff like it's no big deal. It's a big deal. Like, dudes, females, males, men, women, they're dying from this.
Yeah, no doubt, no question.
They're dying. So it's like, you know, how serious are you going to take it? And like I said, it made me look at it a week ago and say, like, wow, how am I going to change my life, because I want to do something different, but I don't want to be in the same old mix. Mm-hmm. How am I going to change it? And after you've messed your life up a couple of times, right? You start having a hardcore conversation with yourself about what needs to change and what needs to be different. Yeah. After you've messed your life up a couple of times. You only get a couple of times to do that, man. You only get a couple of times to do that. So it's like, and you only get a couple of times to recover from it. So you might as well start looking at how real everything needs to be right now.
Sometimes you got to put all your chips in.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do believe in that. So, yeah, man, sometimes you just say, whatever, I'm about to go get it. I'm going to put 100 on red and let's ride.
Right. Yeah, it's all a crapshoot, and it's what you turn out with in the end. You know, is it happiness, or did you just like, oh man, this is not where I wanted to be, but this is where I'm at.
Right, yeah.
And as a man, you got to recover from it, right? You have to. You got to show you can bounce back and do different stuff. Or whatever, but
that's probably one of the hardest things about being a man.
Yeah,
is always having that armor up.
Yeah,
that never let them see you sweat.
Right.
Never, nothing. That's the part about the relationship.
Right.
That, you know what I'm saying. Sometimes you just really want to let the armor down.
Right.
But you feel like a sucker if you do that. You feel like you're being soft. You feel like you're not being a man if you get too vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I feel you. 100%.
So you turn it around and you just figure you'd be the optimist and just do the right thing and do what you need to do, and you just carry on. You just kick it, and it's no big deal. You know,
or you can just be like Dave and drink Red Bull all day and not give a shit about nothing. Like, you know, he seems like he has like the dopest life ever. He's just like, I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about.
Oh, don't let me fool you. There's
Dave,
always chaos and drama.
Yeah.
There's always chaos and drama behind the scenes.
We understand our way that you live in.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's the coolest dude ever. Like, yeah. I might.
So and that's the funny thing. Like I've had that conversation with it, because I think this is what, like, and not that women don't do it too, but I feel like guys and me in particular, like, I have different personas.
Yeah.
Depending on who I'm with.
Yeah.
You know, there's crazy, let's go get stupid bar Dave. There's, all right, you need to have a conversation Dave. There's me here in the studio Dave. There's, it's like, dude, the last show that was in here before you guys, both her co-host and her guest bailed on her. And, I was planning on just sitting here working on stuff and just, but okay, fine. I need to dive in. That means I got to be show Dave. Okay, it's time to be that guy. And then I think that's part of it is that and I actually got in this conversation with a couple of people on Facebook the other day where because we all wear so many different hats and so many different faces with different people don't know if you're not good.
Right.
People don't know if you're and again, because to your point, you've been told you're not supposed to show that.
Right.
And so, but the sad reality is, I mean, the strongest, funniest people that I've known in my life, both of them are ones that committed suicide. And who knew? You know, and you never would have guessed.
Right. I mean, it's one of those situations where you never know what kind of pain somebody is carrying. You know, you never know what they are thinking about or what's been going on in their life that's making them feel like, you know what, man, I can't do this no more. I don't care, who's out there or who's going to, be suffering from my loss, but I can't do this no more. This is crazy. This is totally different. And that's why I say, like, and when I look at my situation, like, I'm not going out like that, see?
Yeah.
I'm not going out like that. Only because that, I've had a lot of ups and downs in my life, but I know right now, like, where I can pick up the pieces and start all over. I know it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, just go get it. Just go get it and go do it. Everybody doesn't have that luxury. I get it. I understand it. And that's why I'm not, like, insensitive to the whole thing. Because I'm telling you, man, pain is crazy. It's real. Pain is crazy, and it's real. And if you don't get a grip on it, it can consume you and have you thinking of doing a bunch of things that you don't want to do.
Especially on the emotional side. I mean, that's the some of the folks that I know that whether they're manic or bipolar or whatever, like it's and just talking with them and getting the feel for it, like it doesn't take much for it to turn into a vicious circle.
Right.
Where you're depressed because you're not getting a lot done, but you're not getting a lot done because you're so depressed.
Right.
And so now you're in a feedback loop, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And how do you regulate out of that?
I don't even think some people realize that they're depressed. Sometimes you really need to talk to somebody even to figure out that you're depressed. I think some people just figure out, well, this is just my personality. This is how I deal with. This is how I mourn. This is how I deal with death. This is how I. They don't even realize that they're depressed. So that's like everything is level. Like, what do you do when you don't know you're in this phase?
You know what?
Because you're not smart enough to dissect yourself sometimes.
I sit here and I think about, like, when we decided to do our whole podcast, and we start looking at all of the different topics that we could talk about. Who knew there would have been this many?
You never know, man.
Like,
I think things just come.
You start,
and you want to
go from relationships to mental health. You go from mental health to, how
it's all relevant.
So the guy, my best friend and business partner in 20 odd years, and when we started our show, June 3rd, 2013. He looked me dead in the eye and said, we're never going to make it past 16 episodes because we're going to run out of shit to talk about. Okay, well, we just did episode 383 on Monday night. And so, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, and that's honestly one of the things that I think you guys have the right dynamic because, dude, it's the same thing that Bob and I have. Dude, these are the same talks we would have if we didn't have mics in our faces.
Right.
So just the fact that the mics are there, it's still us. It's still having those talks.
Yeah. And see, when we started thinking about doing this, like we were just like sitting there sipping, like, dude, we need to do a podcast.
Actually, no. I'm gonna let the world know because I gotta give love and I gotta give props and I give people their flowers. This is his baby. He presented me with the opportunity to do a podcast, and I agreed to do it. But this was his idea, based off of conversations he and I had, and it just.
But we always been a team. And
yeah,
when
no
we
doubt.
figured out,
Like, but I'm always show you. I'm always show you your proper.
No,
respect,
and I
man.
appreciate that. It's
Always.
100. It's all love,
Always.
all the time. Like,
Yeah.
but we figured, like, dude, the stuff we talking about, we need to put it out there.
Yeah.
You know, we need to put it out there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's
And we
just
got
like,
really screwed, but we ain't gonna mention no names. But
right. We did. You know, and
but that's what they
if I
teach.
didn't know your situation, I would put you out there, but I'm not gonna do it.
But
All I know is that we hooked up with my man Dave. My dad,
ain't been showing love.
he put us on. You know what I'm saying?
Love.
He let us. He put us on. He put us on the right track. You know, we working through PodcastDetroit right now. You know, I really don't care about that. Only because like looking at my life right now, I've always looked at like my legacy. What am I gonna leave behind? So my voice is always gonna ride loud and true. I'm never gonna deviate from that.
No doubt.
I'm never gonna deviate. I'm gonna speak. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. But Podcast Detroit put us on, right? So we figure like we go on, we make it happen. We talk about stuff that we talk about when it's just you and us sipping on a Vino.
If Dave wasn't here and you can reverse this into my living room or your living room, we'd be having the same conversation. So that's the dynamic that he was referring
And
to.
Dave, that'd be a cloudy boy.
Yeah. You might want to open a window.
Oh no, I got you. Well, no. So that's like what you were just saying. I got into a conversation on one of the tech pages that I'm on about just think about it for a second. How weird it is that you can go find podcasts by people that are dead now.
Yeah.
Whether the natural causes or because of COVID or because of whatever, but their voice lives on.
Right.
And that's that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like it's that wasn't a 50 years ago. Well, okay, you had records and that kind of stuff, but 100 years ago,
Right.
you didn't have, and it wasn't as easy. Like you didn't have access to things like that as much as people do now. And so that's just a crazy thing. Like even shows that only recorded with us, once or twice, like they're out there. They're archived, and they'll be out there forever.
That's it.
Yeah.
So we just have to keep putting our message out there, putting our message out there. Which I'm gonna put my message out there. My life is not promised to me tomorrow.
What is your message? What is it that you are trying to relay?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something right now,
and I'll tell you mine as well.
When I was coming up, man, I was always like this quiet dude. I didn't believe.
So was I. I was an introvert.
I was a quiet dude. I didn't interact with too many guys, man. I just never did because I just felt like I didn't need that.
I always mess with the OGs. I never mess with dudes my age.
But what I'm saying is like
I
was running with guys my age, but I didn't feel like I needed to run with them because they was doing their thing.
You.
They was in gangs. They was doing their thing. They was running. They was doing it. I didn't need that.
Yeah.
That wasn't going to fulfill me because I already knew I was a bad dude.
Yeah.
I already knew if you come to me.
Might be an issue.
No, we talking some David Banner. We talking some David Banner like.
I'm not going to tell no real Vino stories.
We talking some Incredible Hulk.
But I got a story from June 2019.
Dave, I'm going to tell you something. This has always been my problem, Dave. Dave, this has always been my problem. We only got a few minutes. It's like I've never appreciated a bully. I've never appreciated a bully in my life.
The bully.
And everyone, when they say like, man, your voice is so deep, it's intimidating, I'm just like, I would never hurt you.
Cool dude. Cool dude.
Like
cool dude.
if you, but
don't
think that for a minute that I'm not going to check you on your disrespect.
Everybody got a light switch.
I'm going to do it.
Everybody got
I have to.
That switch can flip. Yeah.
I have to.
Well, I mean, that's the general rule of life is people will treat you how you allow them to.
Right. Yeah. So if I let you beast me, then I'm sitting here looking some kind of way.
I have no option but to react.
I'm sitting here looking some kind of way. So it's just like, man, I've never went after anybody that didn't deserve to get it.
I got to look in the mirror at night.
But at the end of the day, my whole mantra is peace. Like, let's just get along. Let's go have a beer. Let's have a shot. Let's talk. Let's get it out. Tell me how you feel. But if you think that this is going to result in any other way than you respected me, you got another thing coming.
Chris Rock. I was watching the Chris Rock comedy special, and he said the reason why these dudes act like that is because they ain't got no money, and women don't give them none. No, so they got too much aggression in them.
Right.
Get some money or some.
Yeah.
And you might take a nap instead of go out here and try to solve the problem.
Hey,
get money in that.
It's a matter of you need to
go to sleep.
maybe you need to have maybe we need to talk about what you're trying to get accomplished.
Been telling this man he can't have enough for 10 years.
Because I'm gonna tell you something.
He's backed up.
If it means that
if
it means that you got to step on me to get what you need, that's not gonna happen.
Hey,
it's not going to happen.
You know what? You can't get stepped on if you ain't laying down.
Right.
So you can't step on me because I ain't never laying down.
Life is different right now, and we're living this life. We're trying to do what we need to do to succeed, to progress, to be successful.
No doubt.
It doesn't have to go the other way. As long as we appreciate the people that we're talking to and we have the respect for them that we want them to have for us.
It's not given. It's
Dave, it doesn't always have to be nasty.
And it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It like that people who that's their default setting are people I don't need in my life.
Right.
Like there's but I mean, to your point though, eventually we might get there, but that's a nuclear option as far as I'm concerned. When
we get there, that means you've done something though. You're not coming at me.
I've been avoiding.
If we ever get there, that means I'm coming at you now.
I'm avoiding it.
Because
I've been avoiding it forever. I'm not even talking about it. I don't even want to talk about it.
I'm responding.
Right.
When at this point,
I want to let it go.
I'm not a bully. I don't want to. Man, please, no.
I want to let it go.
If it's at that point, then you've done something to me to pursue a solution. And conversation didn't fix it, and so we may have to fix it. However, we got to fix it.
It's just I just think that it's bad.
I just want to go home and get some sleep. I don't want no smoke.
I think that it's bad that people have to find out the hard way, and you should never have to find out the hard way if you're doing everything the right way. So we are Real Vino.
Real Vino.
We're on Twitter, Instagram,
YouTube, Spotify,
Facebook. We're out there. We got a number coming soon where everybody can hit us up and tell us what they want us to talk about, what knowledge they want us to bestow on them. We got it.
My man.
Right?
No doubt.
So we got Dave in the cut. He's sitting there doing it all day.
The man. We sat back and watched some episodes.
It's all love.
This is a 3-man podcast.
It's all love.
That's my guy right here. I like this dude. I like this guy, man.
It's all love. Dave is the greatest. America, you don't even know what you're missing. This dude needs his own podcast.
Man.
He needs his own podcast. This is his own 2-hour segment where he can lay it down to you on what
it's all good,
just means to just be 100% legitimate.
Hey man, let's come back next week and talk some more shit and ruffle some feathers and hopefully
we got the second season coming
soon. Interesting people.
So we tune in with Dave and put that all up, and we do what we got.
And to all the listeners out there, we'll have a phone number for you guys to chime in on and shoot us text messages or phone calls, and we can get outside of our own normal box and discuss some topics that you guys want to discuss too. So we always trying to be progressive and moving. So let's do it, man.
And that might not be because we can hook up via Zoom, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in case I'm gone.
Whatever it is.
Yep,
man.
just it wind up coming in through the TV.
Right, we just coming right in, but we got our dude. It's been
we on all platforms. Tune
This
in.
has been the best episodes that we've done. Like for us,
always good to hear.
Scratching and surviving. This has been like
scratching this. I'm sorry, that's an inside joke. It's an Instagram meme that cracks me up every time I see it. I'm sorry. It's scratching and surviving.
right.
I'm sorry.
Shouts out to
edit that out, please.
Shouts out to Yolanda too, because she put it
Yolanda
on
posted
and
that.
that was
totally
hilarious. Crazy for us.
That was hilarious.
I haven't stopped laughing ever since. It's crazy.
Real Vino, man.
Yes,
Episode
Real Vino.
6. We out of here.
Yes, love.
Peace and love.